Rise in Chaos.
Thanks, hello.
Thank you very much for inviting us to come to your rehearsal and chat with you today. Really appreciate it. We very honored to be here. And so you guys have a show coming up 1 week from this evening at Herman's Hideaway.
Indeed.
And do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, Thursday the 3rd, Herman's. Yeah, we've been prepping for that show for a while. We're stoked. Got the new material out.
Yeah.
It'll be the second time playing it out, so get it out to everybody.
How many new songs do you have?
There's a bunch in the works. We're going to play 3 on Thursday, though. So.
Just finished up some new stuff for the last practice. We use like the internet to the best of our ability, so try and like record a song and put it on the internet, everybody can hear it, and tends to streamline the process if done well, you know, but you can always just play it out at practice as much as we need to. But it's been good. The new material's been really getting a good response. This show should be a lot of fun. The lineup's gonna be good. Played with some of the other bands before. Herman's a fun place to play. You know, a week away, I can feel the energy.
Definitely.
It's in the air tonight.
It's in the air. It is in the air.
It should be a pretty diverse crowd as well as lineup. The lineup is definitely diverse.
That's right.
That's our neighbors over there.
Excellent.
A little rock and roll in the background.
Right.
It's in the jam space.
Jam spot, yeah. Right.
Yeah, we're really stoked to be doing a show with Denver Heavy Metal Society too, bringing it all together. You know, because lots of us are from Denver. Our drummer's the only one from out of town, because he's from Wyoming, so it's not too far. Yeah, so we're all kind of from Denver and have our roots here, and happy to see the scene thrive and happy to be a part of it too.
Yeah. Excellent. Can you guys kind of talk about how you evolved your sound based on your influences and all that kind of stuff? Because you have a very, your sound, you obviously got a lot of influence, you can tell just by listening to it. So.
Got a lot of influences, man.
Yeah, just
We're all kind of a little different, honestly. I mean, I'm really influenced by like 80s style, thrash, that sort of thing. I mean, Nick and I actually have played guitar together for years and years and years.
Yeah, we got started with punk rock and all that, so
Yeah.
we probably still have some of those picky
We got a lot of similar influences. Dustin, I don't know if you want to talk about your influences.
Yeah. I love Fear Factory. Yeah, Fear Factory is Meshuggah, Lamb of God. I like the old stuff though, like Soulfly, Pantera, all that 90s metal, man. That's where I'm at, you know.
We've got the 80s, the 90s.
80s, 90s.
John's a big fan of the 70s stuff too.
Yeah.
Black Sabbath and whatnot.
Man,
We
Black
try to
Sabbath.
bring as much to the table as we can.
Yeah, I think we all listen to a lot of music, and that helps our music writing because it's just kind of becomes a part of you, all the things you like from different aspects. I listen to a lot of different music.
I was gonna say, even and almost especially music outside of metal, you know? You listen to stuff that's kind of different and try to bring a little bit of that with you into your metal.
Yeah,
Trying to get like a different twist on what everybody else is doing.
funky syncopations or whatever, you know, turning a hip-hop beat to a guitar riff. That type of stuff can work out really cool. It doesn't always, but it's worth a try, you know?
What are some of your other favorite Denver bands to play with that you guys have played with in the past?
Well, Havoc's an easy one, yeah. I like Havoc. I like the 80s sound, so you know, Havoc is right on top for me.
Yeah, we were super stoked to play with them. That was a great show at the Marquee.
Yeah.
Aside from that, Celador was at that show too. That was our first time playing with them. We really liked them. They were very epic.
Yeah.
I think we played with Dissonance and Design at that show
Dissonance
too.
Design was
Those guys
cool,
were good.
yeah.
A little bit heavier, kind of more death metal sound,
Yeah.
which we're totally into too.
Played with Fist Fight, and those guys are really cool.
Yeah, John Eggers.
Really good friend of ours.
Guys,
Yeah.
really good guy. He's a huge supporter of just the whole local metal scene.
big shows coming up. I think we're supposed to have a big one come up on Valentine's Day. So that'll be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. There's a lot of good freaking Denver bands.
We can just list all the Denver bands.
Anchor, right? Anchor's coming out of the mix.
Anchor's coming out, yeah.
We're gonna play their regeneration party, their rebirth party.
Their reboot show, yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing Anchor again. Nice.
So that's gonna be fun. I haven't heard them before, but it's actually our drummer's brother's band, and they're getting back into the metal scene, so that'll be fun.
And they've been doing kind of a, what would you call
Like,
that?
more of like
Kind of more of a rock.
like a Stone Sour-ish.
Yeah.
Alternative.
They're good though. They're really good.
Yeah.
Wasey's an excellent singer.
Yeah, he sounds like Phil.
He sounds, yeah, he's got that kind of like southern Louisiana style.
And Moth is a big name in Denver, but we haven't played with them
Play
yet.
with them, yeah, we should.
I haven't played with them. We see those guys at a lot of our shows.
All the time.
Yeah.
Rhiannon is a DHMS member, actually, the keyboard
Nice.
player. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're pretty good friends with those guys too.
Cool,
Yeah, Dave, I've known for forever. He has some original recordings of some songs, parts of songs that years later became a Rising
I've
Chaos
made it into
songs.
our material.
Yeah, that I used to have in old projects.
Nice.
Known Dave for a long time. But yeah, they're good. They're good stuff.
So are you eager for your fans to hear the other bands that are going to be on this bill at Herman's a week from tonight?
Yeah.
There's a lot of different styles that are going to be there: death metal, grindcore, thrash, doom.
Yeah.
We have a wide variety of fans too, you know, and partly because like we've all had different backgrounds in different bands prior to this band that were slightly different genres and stuff. So we got a lot of fans that have been with us through the years, and some of them are more particular, you know, like into death metal, into thrash metal, into more like mainstream metal kind of stuff. So it's like we got a good mix of fans. So I definitely think they're gonna respond well to the variety. Definitely.
I find that makes for a great show too. Is kind of a diverse bill because it keeps the energy going. Something to look forward to. You know, it's not just the same thing throughout the night. It's like
Just wanna-
an event with some appeal.
I just want to keep from putting too many labels on it, you know? I mean, metal's metal. Most people who are metal fans can appreciate it, you know? I mean, even if it's not, you know, thrash metal or death metal or whatever, grindcore, there's a lot of middle ground there, and for the most part, metalhead appreciate it.
Yeah, if it's heavy,
It's heavy.
I'll make my
It's
head.
good. Yeah.
Get it going.
That's our philosophy.
Right?
Definitely.
Yeah, I love opportunity. We love opportunities to play in front of new fans. I love opportunities to give people the opportunity to play in front of new fans, you know. That's why I think we're kind of trying to focus later this year more on playing with bands we haven't played with before, you know. That way we can
Spread out the
mix
audience.
around and get everyone's ears on all the Denver stuff going on.
Well, you'll really enjoy meeting Ivan, Irva, and Zombie Hate Brigade. They're all a bunch of great people, just
Yeah.
excellent people. Yeah, they're all awesome. So
Cool.
it should be a very fun party.
I'm excited to see it.
Perfect. Seems like it kind of has that party vibe.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Herman's is a great place to play.
They're very cool guys, and they like you guys a lot. They had nothing but good things to say about you guys. So we're excited to have you there.
We're only getting better.
Yeah, yeah.
We hope.
Hey, I know.
We know. I don't know what you're talking about.
We
Right?
didn't talk about it, but we'll fill them in. We're getting better.
Yeah.
So have you guys done any touring, or are you planning on doing any touring?
We're working on that right now.
Yeah, we're planning on doing some touring, working on just some out-of-state shows here and there. We're going up October 12th to Sheridan, Wyoming, his hometown, to play. We played there a few times.
The big thing about touring is it costs lots of money.
Costs lots of money.
So if you want to give us a little bit of money, help us get out there.
That's the key.
Throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we're talking to some people to try to get some stuff in the works, whether it be, you know, we're talking to some management and some labels right now about different things, you know, but
Yeah, representation.
we're trying to take our time, see what happens. This new album, you know, the new material, you know, new members in the band that are writing, you know, it's a whole new monster, so we don't even know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So.
We've got things to do in the meantime.
Yeah, we're
You know,
waiting to
if
see.
the opportunity arises, we'll be there, you know, because we've in the way that we need to, like getting on tour or getting representation or recording, you know. There's lots of elements that go into being in a successful band. Lots of it is money at the same time. You gotta spend time writing music though. I do that all day, playing guitar at home.
Yeah.
That's what bands are made of.
Stay motivated.
And that's what us fans love and we appreciate very much.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, you want to bring something new when you play a new show. I mean, nobody wants to see the same set over and over and over.
We get tired of playing the same songs over and
Yeah,
over.
you know, the fans get tired. We get tired of playing the same
It's only been like a year, like, fuck.
Well, speaking of recording, I mean, obviously it does take money, but you mentioned you have new songs, and I'm assuming you're working toward another full length to follow up on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're working toward full length. Yeah, we might try to hopefully try to release at least one single fully recorded with a video before all that happens. So you know, we'll slowly put it out there piece by piece until the whole thing's done.
Yeah, keep fans excited.
Gotta keep the interest for us and for everybody.
That's right.
Yeah.
Both ways.
Yeah.
I didn't know Spinal Tap practiced here.
Yeah, right. I know.
Those guys get some pretty funny songs over there. Yeah, some classic Ozzy that they're butchering the riff of, but
That's
at least he's practicing.
Guns N' Roses.
It's hard to get quiet time in the area.
It seems like everybody practices on the same day too. So.
Yeah.
But ever since those guys started turning up a lot louder.
Yeah. We kind of, I think we're a little louder than a lot of the bands in the jam space here, so we've kind of brought the volume up in the rooms around us.
As a result.
It's your duty.
That's right.
Right.
Your metal duty.
It's the law.
It's cool though, there's some other, like playing in this communal jam spot. There's other metal bands here.
Sunny in Tijuana, it's always Sunny in Tijuana.
Sunny's over here. Fatal Impediments, like this hardcore death metal band across the hall. It's fun to hear them working on their blast beats and stuff.
I've seen them. Yeah.
The band we played with at our last show plays down the hall, and they're called Resonance. Yeah.
Resonance.
It's
Kind of like
cool.
Yeah.
It's funny when you're like, oh, we jammed in the same spot. Yeah, I'll listen to the band next time. Actually,
We'll stand outside your room with like a glass to the door.
Yeah. It's a great community for musicians and stuff, though.
The Flowbots over here, right?
Oh yeah,
Flowbots,
Flowbots over there.
We got Vic. What's Vic's band? Pretty badass.
Harvest the Murderers over here.
Oh, cool. Right on.
Yeah, that's our
those
buddy,
guys.
Ryan Dahlberg. Their daughter used to play with us in our old thrash band, so
Yeah,
very
we're
well.
Years past.
Years past.
It's funny because like us three string players have kind of plugged in and out for each other through school,
Yeah,
through
since,
after
like,
school,
early high
whatever.
school.
Yeah.
Yeah. We kind of snagged him and he snagged everybody else.
Yeah, it's come together that way. It's not
I know the right people.
Can you guys talk a little bit about your views on the Denver metal scene as a whole and how you've seen it evolve and where you see it going and just what you think of it in general and your impressions?
Yeah, well, for me, I've been in the scene here for a long time, and it seems like for a while there, years ago, it was like huge and booming, and there were all these great bands, and then it seemed like it went through this kind of slope where all the bands kind of dismembered, you know, members started to move around and do all these different things, so instead of having all these well-known bands that have been around for a while that new, everyone had new projects all of a sudden, you know, and people didn't, I think it was harder to get people out because they didn't know the
kind of a
names.
dip in the general.
Yeah, it was hard to get people out, but in the last year and a half or so, I've seen it really, like, peak back up. You know, everyone's kind of settled in what they're doing now, and, you know, there's new bands
during
out
that
like
lull,
Bob
there were a
and
couple
people that are
bands
great, you know.
Yeah, a couple bands that really like made it out of Denver and become national acts or international acts, like Havoc, for example, is
Yeah.
Carnage that are kind of before us.
Havoc, man, like, because I played with Havoc back when they first started, you know,
Yeah.
they were opening,
Yeah.
you know, for my
We all played with
crappy
them.
bands, you know, know, they were so much like Metallica back then, and now they've developed into this whole thrash world and just taking over. You know,
It's really great to see
They're a great band, too.
Yeah.
Excellent band.
And I feel like Denver's kind of where it's at, because I see a lot of people moving to Denver for, not just the music scene, but for the mountains or whatever. Yeah, not just for the marijuana scene or whatever. People want to be here, and they want something to do, and, a lot of people like metal, so I feel like there's a bigger fan insurgence just with bigger population. And like Dustin said, bands are kind of solidified right now. Other bands that are coming out are coming out strong. So it's really good. It's good for the bands. It's really good for the fans too. If you like certain types of metal, you can go see that show, get turned on. Meet a lot of really cool people. I think it's only going to get better, really.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many bands on the scene. It just shows that Denver is, a scene that has that market. That there's just so many people that like the metal sound, and like that whole culture, if you will. That there's that many bands and there's so many fans that it just really is a strong market.
Denver's also kind of in the middle of nowhere. So, if you like metal, you come to Denver. I mean, like for a lot of the states surrounding Denver, like Kansas, Wyoming, Utah, that sort of thing. Montana. There aren't too many big places where it's happening. Denver is one of those places that's becoming a spot on the map, and especially thanks to bands like Silent Carnage and Havoc. Other Denver bands that have made it out on the international scene, all of a sudden people are starting to pay a little bit more attention to Denver. And I think that's great for all local bands,
Yeah, and it has a lot to do with all the promoters in town too, like Voodoo and Soda Jerk and AEG now taking over all the venues, and they give all the local bands here a big opportunity to play with the big acts, like Soda Jerk helped us out a lot this year playing with Soulfly and Havoc and 3 Inches of Blood, and
Within the Ruins.
last year was in the Ruins, and they give the local bands a good opportunity to showcase to an audience that wouldn't normally go to local shows.
Right.
Soda Jerk has done more for us than anybody else in there.
Yeah, and we just recently started working with AEG, and they're great to work with.
You got a lot of the good clubs too. I mean, a lot of the AEG bought out.
They own everything. They just bought the Gothic this year. They have
Gothic, Red Rocks, Ogden, Bluebird.
Everything other than what Soda Jerk owns.
Yeah, Soda Jerk's like
the
Marquee,
Sunday Marquee.
Exactly.
which are great places to play.
Right.
If you're in a band
They're
and
all
watching
good.
this, you know who to hit up for what venues now. Yeah.
It's good though, playing with some of those like production companies that are doing local stuff, bringing big bands to our city. It's a great chance to play with other good local bands too, because they're watching the scene and they also are recognizing talent, putting it together. Just like Denver Heavy Metal Society, this next show is going to be sick. So it's great to have like those really enthusiastic people trying to mold it and deliver an awesome.
There's a lot of people working really hard to make this become
Denver
something.
scene, yeah.
And it's becoming something. So it's
Cheers
all
to them on that one.
it's all getting somewhere, and it's absolutely worth it. And there's a lot of good talent in the city.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it deserves to be out there.
Yeah, it's good to have so many good bands in the same city because, the old saying, I don't know if it's an old saying, but no band can make it alone.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You gotta have a whole scene that's
gotta have-
worth coming
Takes
out
a
to
village.
see.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
no
We're raising
coincidence
the
that in the
thing,
90s all those Seattle bands
Yeah, I
came
was
out of
just
Seattle.
thinking that.
Seattle was a
Time.
huge-
The Seattle grunge scene of the 90s, man. It all just came up at the
So-
same time.
And the same thing with the Bay Area and the 80s. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's how it
it's
goes.
or New York. I mean, there's lots of scenes that were that way. I mean, one band kind of rises to the top and brings everyone else that's part of the scene with them.
Yeah, that sense of excitement, people are like, wow, something's happening and I don't want to miss
Right.
out on it.
People want to be part of
you know?
something big.
Yeah.
And it's really pretty cool. It's cool to see it happening here in Denver.
Like the Denver Broncos.
Fucking Broncos, man.
So we're gonna be the next like Denver Broncos.
Without the orange.
Call me Nick Elway.
Hey, don't be dissing my orange. Bro.
Yeah, dude.
Unless it's orange cabinet.
Yeah, let's talk about orange cabinets. I want one.
So, for metal fans out there who are not familiar with Arise in Chaos, how would you describe your sound to those folks?
It's really good to the ear.
I feel like with our candy. I mean, with our music, I feel like people who aren't fans of metal, like who actually listen to our music, still enjoy it.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
get that a lot from people who aren't into metal at all. They're like, wow, I've never really listened to metal, but you know, I came to your show and just was absolutely floored by it. I think it's that type of music that just it impresses upon people that metal is something worth getting into for people who don't know what it is.
Exactly.
So I mean, I've got plenty of coworkers that just by my personal association with them have come to shows. They know nothing about metal, they listen to no metal, and they are absolutely floored by what they discover it to be. They didn't even have any idea what it was like prior to, and then all of a sudden they see this and they're like, wow, this is just really impressive. You guys are all really tight, everything's coordinated.
Yeah.
It sounds good, like they're really impressed. And I mean, I think that overall is something that is very striking about this band. It's just that live performance has that ability to just really punch it into people's brain that metal is awesome.
I mean, we're extreme, but we're not
Overly extreme.
too extreme. I don't know how to say that.
Extreme.
Ultimately, it's just like, it's one of those things that's like, you can appreciate it. I mean, from whatever background you come from, you can appreciate
You know, and it's like, because I like to keep things kind of simple, like Sepultura, simple.
Sepultura, Pantera kind of thing, where it's
Yes.
like in between too complex and too simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when I was writing some guitar on the first album before I started singing, it was really like the approach of kind of it's the approach of kind of making riffs that sound simple, you can follow, that are catchy but aren't difficult to play, but don't sound difficult. You know what I mean? People like to hear difficulty in metal, and sometimes especially, vast technicalities. But a lot of people like to hear the simple, just,
Right.
Well, it's got to be something you can headbang to, I mean, you want people to be able to get into your show regardless of whether they're a guitar player or a drummer or just, like to listen to music. And even if they haven't listened to metal, like John was saying before, people who haven't even heard metal at all come to our shows and hear us and can relate to it even though they don't listen to metal. So some bands get a little bit too far in one direction or the other, and I think we do a good job of kind of staying in the middle ground and being able to attract fans from either side of the fence, whether they're technical fans that want to hear guitar players play shred solos, or not so technical bands that want to hear something that they can headbang to and they don't have to think too hard.
We never compromise heaviness though, we're playing heavy metal here and that's the primary goal. So the riff's gotta hit you in the gut, it's gotta, grab you by the face and rip it off a little
And there are
bit.
plenty of bands who came before us who were able to do just that. Like Pantera, I think, is an excellent example. To take a couple notes and turn it into just like
Corrosion of
rushing kind of.
and we try to keep ourselves not in a box too, which is hard because this is the first time in any band that I've been in where instead of starting a new band and writing a first album and creating a sound, we have a first album out. The second album, you want to sound like that band. You don't want to change too much, but we've kind of decided to take the approach of not putting ourselves in that Arise in Chaos box that is the first album. Because, we got Nick on guitar now, I was playing guitar before, I'm not playing guitar, these guys are writing, they have all sorts of different influences, like, we're just trying to write together and just see what happens and see where it goes. So, the first album sounds like it sounds, the second album is going to sound entirely different.
It's gonna be brutal though.
Yeah, we don't even know what it
I don't know if
sounds
it's
like.
entirely different. I mean, 'cause we're all still a part of the writing process, but yeah, it's a step in a slightly
Just let it
different
flow. Just let it flow. It's a big part of what makes it sound.
And we're all metal fans, fucking do or die, whether we're in a band or we're not, whether we have a guitar or we don't, fucking metal fans. And I think that's really what helps us determine what's going to be, the next sound, what riff is going on the album, what's making the cut. It's because we all just love metal, and it, when something hits you and it's right.
And if
so
it doesn't,
keep
we're not afraid to say no.
Yeah,
And because we all have such diverse backgrounds and influences, it's really kind of like a complicated filter that the songs have to make it through
So everyone's happy.
before they get to a
Yeah,
point where
everyone's
everyone's
gonna
happy and everyone's
There's 5
you know,
really
feeling it.
opinionated
Let's
people.
put it this way,
Yeah.
very few mice find the cheese at the end of that maze.
We are all very opinionated and like, you know, very strong individuals, and I think that helps.
Yeah.
When you have that
Yeah.
many songwriters in a band,
It
Yeah.
really
it's
does.
gotta be
It really does filter out some of the weaker material and just make sure that everything that makes it out the other side is like pristine.
Gold.
Yeah, that's
pretty
that's-
strict riff police.
Gotta be gold.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, we butt heads every once in a while, but we're adults
That's definitely-
now, you know. We've all grown up, we've all been in those teenage bands where you have an argument and the band's over. And, you know, that's not the case now, we're all fucking, you know, past like mid.
We're in it for the long haul, you know. We want to go out on tour. We want to make a real band that's gonna have a lasting
Yeah.
impact on the whole metal scene in general, not just the local metal scene, but the metal scene.
Right. We didn't all play music our whole lives for nothing.
Right. Just quit the band because your influences conflict with the next
Right,
band.
exactly. We gotta be willing to take the good with the bad, and you know, the champagne with the vinegar, or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I like a little bit of both.
Yep.
Well, we want to thank you guys very much for taking the time to having us here today.
Absolutely.
And, we're very much looking forward to the show 1 week from tonight at Herman's Hideaway, October 3rd.
October
With
3rd.
Battle Spawn, Black Acid Devil, excuse me, Zombie Hate Brigade, and Eye of Minerva.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be
It's at
badass.
Herman's Hideaway.
In the rise of chaos.
And all you in a rise in chaos, and all you fans out there, we hope to see you there as well.
Every one of you.
Everyone.
All of you. If you're watching
Ready.
this, you better be there.
It's coming.
Thank you, Rise in Chaos.
Alright, thank you.
Thank you.